Good evening, and thank you for joining us for our election night coverage here on your local election headquarters. I'm Denise Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. Results just started coming in a short while ago. We first reported it about 10:07 p.m. because so many people were in line well after the 7 p.m. cutoff. Now, before we go out live to some of the watch parties, let's see some of those results. We start with one of the most important races for Nevada governor. And you can see Adam Laxalt with 50% to 44% for Steve Sisolak, 44% with about 83,000 plus votes.
Another highly contested race is for the U.S. Senate seat between Democrat Jackie Rosen challenging Republican incumbent Dean Heller. As you can see here, Dean Heller with 50% of the vote, Jackie Rosen with 45% of the vote. Again, this is just with 22% of the precincts reporting so far.
And as those numbers continue to trickle in from a variety of counties, both sides of the aisle watching every single race closely.
The Democrats have gathered on the Strip. They're at Caesars Palace for their watch party tonight, and that's where we find Shakayla Alvarenga with more. Shakayla?
Live from the Nevada Democrat headquarters here at Caesars Palace. Here is a closer look at the party happening right behind me. We are still awaiting the election results here in Clark County, but of course, as they start to trickle in, a lot of excitement, and you can hear the cheers coming from this crowd. Hundreds of people have been patiently waiting for that information. Over the past few hours, the chairman of Nevada Democrats has taken the stage, as well as Senator Catherine Cortez Masto. Here is what she said about tonight's midterm.
You know, people are coming out and saying my vote matters, and I'm going to use my vote as my voice to say what I'm supporting and what I'm not supporting, and what I'm going to stand up for. And I think that's fantastic. That's who we are as Nevadans.
Now, the senator also thanks supporters for everything they have done over the past few months, and that means calling people on phone banks, at phone banks, and knocking on those doors as well. We have been told that the candidates will take the stage after the results come in. Again, we are still awaiting those results. The candidates have decided to watch those results with their family. 8 News Now will, of course, take that speech live. Reporting live, Shakayla Alvarenga, 8 News Now. Back to you.
All right, Shakayla, thanks for that. And we do have some new numbers coming in now. We're going to head over to the South Point Hotel and Casino, where Republicans have gathered to watch their results coming in tonight. And Christiane Klein has been there all night, joins us now with more on that. Christiane?
Yes, and I can tell you that there was a low level of anxiety as those first numbers started coming in, because people knew that once Clark County came in, that there could be a major flip, and it looks like that's what we have seen. Jackie Rosen has now taken a lead in this race, 52% to 43% for Dean Heller. Again, still very early, but we're just starting to see those Clark County numbers come in. And I talked to someone right before we got up here, a GOP insider, who told me those numbers would be a killer if that didn't hold. So just having a slight lead that we saw with Heller in this race isn't enough. He had to have a really big lead to be able to overcome that. Now, whether or not those numbers hold, we don't know just yet. We're also seeing similar things in the governor's race. Steve Sisolak overtook Adam Laxalt in that, and seeing the same thing over in the Susie Lee versus Danny Tarkanian race. Another thing that's very interesting to note, we have not seen anyone from Danny Tarkanian, and we have also not seen Crescent Hardy. We saw Senator Dean Heller for a short period of time several hours ago before we got any of those election results in. It'll be interesting to see if any of them come out here in the next half hour or so, rally the few people that are still left here inside of this ballroom, still trying to hold on to hope and watching those numbers come in. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Christiane Klein with those updated numbers. We're going to head up north now to Reno, where Patrick Walker joining us live from a watch party for gubernatorial candidate Adam Laxalt. And Patrick, how would you describe the atmosphere there?
The mayor's party. A very upbeat crowd.
Well, there has been, as the Clark County numbers have come in, a shift in the mood here. It's interesting. You would assume these are the early voting totals, so that Democratic firewall that they have really fought to build through early voting, manifesting itself at least with the early results coming in. So just to echo kind of what Christiane was saying, we're seeing about an 8-point spread in favor of Steve Sisolak at this point, according to the Secretary of State's office, with those early Clark County numbers coming in. So really what happens now is we'll see if the turnout today, Republican turnout on Election Day, is enough to overcome that firewall. Remember, it was a much tighter race up here, but Democrats going in, or coming out of early voting, going into Election Day, had the slight advantage. So that's also what to watch for up here. Again, the results coming out of Washoe County were the preliminary results as well. So the two big counties, as they start to cycle in, we'll see these numbers shift back and forth and the margins change a lot. That will tell more of the story as the evening wears on. No sign of Adam Laxalt here. Not sure exactly when or if he is planning on speaking tonight. One thing is clear, though, as we wait for all of those numbers to come in from the two big counties, from Washoe up here in the north and Clark County in the south. A lot of folks here are going to be waiting until a race is called either way. For now, reporting live in Reno, I'm Patrick Walker, 8 News Now.
All right, Patrick, thank you. Besides all the candidates on the ballot tonight, of course, a number of questions. This is the first one. Question 1, expanding the rights for crime victims. So far, it looks like 58% of voters say yes, they agree with this measure, to 42% voting no. Moving on to question 2, this is one of the two that would affect sales tax. This is the exemption for feminine hygiene products. This one's really close. 51% saying yes, 49% saying no. The big one that spent multi-millions of dollars to get their message out. This is question 3, the Energy Choice Initiative. This looks like it's going to be a resounding no, with 78% compared to yes for 22%.
Question 4, the Medical Patient Tax Relief Act. It would exclude oxygen tanks and mobility devices from state-imposed sales taxes. 60% yes, 40% no, with about 73,000 votes on the no side. Question 5 is the Motor Voter Initiative that essentially re-registers you to vote or registers you to vote at the DMV automatically. Yes standing at 52%. No is 48%. That very close thus far. Ballot question 6 would amend the state constitution to make the renewable energy portfolio stand 50% by the year 2030 with renewable sources. That coming in also very close at this early time. Yes at 52%. No 4 points behind at 48%.